Hi guys, Shauna here, and this week we have both Stella and Duke joining us. So there's going to be a lot of dogs in and out, and we're gonna be doing some beginner yoga. So feel free to find your easy seat. Find whatever easy seat is best for you. We're gonna start with some breath work as usual. So if you know you have a hard time staying in seated poses, feel free to go and lie on your back or lie on your belly. Take whatever feels best for you. But I'm gonna start in my easy seat, which is my Sukhasana, but if you know that this is hard on your hips, feel free to lay back on your back. Go ahead and find our easy seat, even if it means one leg over the dog. And we're gonna go ahead and lay down or sit up, and we're just gonna start coming into our breath. Everyone that's watching this, you probably just saw it cut because there was some dog chaos that I will include at the end, because why not? But yeah, we're gonna try to come back into our breath. And again, the key word here is try. So we're gonna go ahead and again, settle into our posture or lay down on our backs, whatever feels best for you. Take whatever feels natural. And again, if you wanna start your breathing on your back, I always recommend whatever is the most comfortable. And we're gonna once again come into our breath. So we're gonna go ahead and do our box breath where we inhale for 4, hold for 4, and then exhale for 4. And breathing in and out through the nose, maybe if you want, exhaling through the mouth. I'm gonna give you guys some time to breathe on your own. And if you lose your train of thought and if you get distracted, it's okay. You just very gently, very kindly guide yourself back. And take your time. And just settle in. And while we're here, we're going to do one of the things we always do. And we're going to try to begin to think of 3 things that we are grateful for. And it can be any 3 things, big or small. It can be that you are grateful for dogs, or for yoga, or for the fact that you got to go outside today. It can be little stuff. You can be grateful for coffee, like I always am. Be grateful for any and everything. Just pick 3 things. So find your 3 things. And continue breathing in and out through the nose. And when your mind wanders, either bringing yourself back to your breath or bringing yourself back to whatever you're grateful for. So as you guys will probably notice, we have Duke and Stella here today, and they are going to definitely come in and out, and that's okay. They're allowed to go and move around as much as they want, come back and forth, so they'll be joining us today. Just take one more minute here with your breath. Oh, Duke. Just take one more minute here with your breath before we get moving. And if you've lost your train of thought, use this as a chance to begin again. You can go with them too, Stella, if you want. It's okay. Just take this last moment here before we get moving. Just check in. And whether you're seated or lying down, you can start to bring some awareness to your body. You can keep your eyes closed, but begin to kind of notice where your body is in space. Notice either your sit bones on the floor or your shoulder blades on the floor. Bringing awareness into your body, maybe wiggling your fingers or your toes. Maybe shrugging your shoulders up towards your ears and then relaxing them down. And if you are on your back, you can slowly begin to bring your knees into your chest and make your way to an easy seat. So taking your time, making your way, meeting me in your Sukhasana. Settling in, finding your way up. And again, just checking in with our bodies. So just checking in with our easy seat, noticing how we feel. And taking whatever variation of easy seat is best for you. If you have tight hips, feel free to take any other variation that works for you. We're gonna start coming in to some neck rolls. Good girl, Stell. We're gonna go ahead and bring our right ear to our right shoulder. We're gonna go ahead and reach the left arm down towards the mat. Good, breathe here if you want. You can take your right hand, add the weight of your head. Sorry, the weight of your hand to your head. We're not pulling on our head, we're just adding the weight of our hand. Breathing here, opening up the left side of the neck. Nice and slow, we're gonna go ahead and bring our chin to our chest. Let our head hang forward, hands to our knees. Good, breathing in and out through the nose here. And then nice and gently, left ear to left shoulder. Right arm reaches down. Same thing, you can take your left hand, bring it to the top of your head here, add the weight. Opening up, drawing that right shoulder down to the ground. Good, breathe here. Good, nice and slow, we're gonna drop the head back, chin reaches up. Making sure we're not just throwing our head back, that we're not crushing these spinal processes back here. We're still lifting, lengthening, elongating our spine and just looking up, stretching out the scalene muscles in the front of the neck. Good, breathe here. And while we're breathing here, we're just gonna do a little bit more work on the front of the neck here. So right now our chin is centered and reaching up. We're just gonna go ahead and turn, kind of 45-degree angle, like we're looking up at the sky with something passing us on the right-hand side. So we're just coming right in between this ear to our shoulder and then our chin straight up, right in the middle here. Good, breathe here, drawing the left shoulder down. Good. Nice and slow, back to center, over to the left side, chin looking up and over, drawing the right shoulder down again, stretching out these muscles in the front of the neck, which is an area that is often neglected. Good, nice and slow, come back to center. We're gonna inhale both arms up and put our hands behind our head. So we're gonna go through our seated cat-cow variation. And again, this is gonna be a yoga for beginners video. We're gonna be doing a lot of very simple stuff that's very helpful. So feel free to slow it down, take it faster. If you're more advanced, add more things to it. But we're gonna be taking a lot of time doing small, mindful movements and breaking them down and not really doing anything too crazy. This is meant to be accessible for everyone. And again, if you have a hard time sitting in this Sukhasana, feel free to come to our Virasana and sit on your heels like this, or you can also do a lot of these while in a chair for the beginning. So this is still accessible to do in a chair as well. So wherever we are, we're gonna go ahead and inhale our arms up. Again, bring our hands behind our head, elbows open wide. We're gonna go ahead and inhale, lift the chin, draw the shoulders open, draw the elbows back, lift the chest, engage the lower abdominals so we don't dump into our low spine. Exhale, chin into your chest, round the spine, elbows come together and pull down, adding the weight of your hands to your head. So you're not yanking on your head, you're just adding that little bit of extra weight. Inhale, open up. Exhale, fold. And again, you can loudly exhale through your mouth. Inhale, open up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, open. And you can keep your eyes closed here. Open up a little bit wider, little baby back bend going on here. Exhale, fold. This time, let your head be heavy. Shake your head yes and no. Breathe here. Just let your head hang forward. Again, maybe shake. Nice and slow, yes and no. Feeling that stretch in the back of the neck. Inhaling up and open, nice and wide. Inhaling, arms up, all the way out. Good, breathe here. It's like if you have a neighbor near you, just high five them, it's all good. So breathing here. We're gonna go ahead and keep our thumbs pointing up, bend at the elbows, draw our shoulder blades together. So retracting the shoulder blades like we're gonna touch our elbows behind us. Inhale, lift the chin, open up the chest, opening up the pecs. And we're gonna be really mindful and notice here how we feel when we begin to rotate the palms to face up, thumbs pull back. Good, breathe now, pull the thumbs back even farther. Good, inhale, both arms up, hands to touch. Exhale, hands through to your heart. Take a second here, check in with yourself. We're gonna go ahead and inhale back up once more time. And this time we're gonna push our hands actively together. So this is engaging our lats here. So we're pushing our hands together, drawing our shoulders down, looking up. Good, breathe, breathe, breathe. Inhale, reach. And we're gonna exhale, take the left hand down, right arm comes up and over. Nice big side body stretch. Good, so whatever side you do, it's okay, as long as you do the other one next. We wanna make sure we're not rotating here. We're coming over and we're getting this lateral flexion and extension. We're not rotating the thoracic. So we're drawing this elbow back a little bit to get into the lats and the traps. And again, this is yoga for beginners. You don't need to know what all the muscles are and what all these things mean. It's just be mindful not to rotate. You wanna be bending this way. You wanna feel it more in the side body. Inhaling all the way up and through over to the other side. Right hand comes down. Inhale, left arm up. Good, again, same thing, up and over, making sure we're not rotating, elbows tracking behind the ear, breathing here. Good, and again, breathing in and out through the nose. Inhale all the way to center, both arms reach up. We're gonna take our right hand, bring it to our left knee this time, so we're gonna go into a nice little twist. Right hand to left knee, left arm inhales up and back, and it goes directly behind us. We're not reaching far back because we don't wanna lean. We wanna put it right next to our tailbone. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, twist, look over the left shoulder. Good, breathe here. Inhale, left arm up. Right arm comes to follow. Nice little reach first, maybe wiggle it out. Maybe shift side to side, whatever feels good for you. Left hand comes to right knee. Inhale, right arm up and back, placing our right arm behind. So we're inhaling, lifting, lengthening. Exhale, twist, look over the right shoulder. Good, breathe here. Good, inhale, right arm up, left arm comes to meet. Again, we're gonna reach, reach, reach. So we're gonna do a little bit of our shoulder rolls to get the synovial fluid and the joints moving. So we're gonna bend at the elbow, hands come to the tops of the shoulders, and we're just gonna start to circle. Yes, this is really good. We wanna always lubricate the joints, do some dynamic movement as a warm up. Majority of the joints in our body are synovial, which means that nice little movements like this get them lubricated and make them a lot easier to move, a lot less likely to be injured. So this is always good to do some kind of dynamic warm-up like our neck rolls, our shoulder rolls, and then we're about to get into our body rolls. So take whatever you need. You can go both arms together, forward and back. Take any motions or movements. If you want some yoga for the brain, you can try to go backwards and forwards at the same time. I'm never good at it, as you guys know. But yeah, it gets, because at some point you end up going the same way, whether you mean to or not. So it's very interesting if you want to try it. Good. We're gonna go ahead and inhale, both arms up. Exhale, hands down to the knees. Take a second here, keep your posture nice and strong. We're gonna go ahead into our body rolls, but we're gonna do the body rolls with the straight spine first. So there's two different types of body rolls that I'll tend to do. The first one's we're gonna keep our spine straight and really focus on rotating around this pelvic joint here. So we're hinging forward and we're not collapsing the spine here. You'll see the ones we do next are way more free-flowy. This one, we're keeping our posture nice and strong, engaging the lower abdominals, engaging the transverse abdominals. So finding your easy seat, and we're just gonna hinge and roll forward and come around. Try to keep the tailbone grounded as best you can. Good, you'll feel it really getting into the low back, starting to warm that up. Good. Breathing again, keeping our posture nice and strong. We're not hinging yet, we're gonna get there. Just take a second, roll it out. Go the opposite direction when you're ready. Good. And now comes the fun, switching direction one more time. Letting yourself kind of ragdoll forward, let your head hang. Roll yourself all the way around. So take this time here to really go slow if you need, maybe get into the shoulders, get into the low back. Take whatever motions you need. Just roll it out. And if you want, you can like hang out in a spot, come back. And then when you're ready, switch directions, going around the opposite way. Good. Breathe. And then we get to the bottom. We're gonna go ahead and take a second here to hinge forward. And just go side to side, back and forth. Feeling it out. Good, nice and slow, zigzagging your way all the way back up. Good, take our time here. We're gonna go ahead and close our eyes real quick and just check in with our breath once again. So lengthen your spine. Notice if your posture is rounding. Inhaling, lifting, lengthening. Engaging the lower abdominals, drawing the shoulders up and back, finding that nice strong posture. And maybe take a second here to come back to what you're grateful for. Come back to check in with your breath. We're going to begin rolling over our knees into our tabletop. So whenever you are ready, you can either roll right over the knees or take your knees out to the side, swing them around, and find your way to your tabletop. So we're going to find our tabletop, and it's always important if we have rough knees here to put some extra cushioning under our knees if we need it. We're always going to make sure that our shoulders are stacked over our wrists, knees are about hips width apart. We're going to go through our nice little cat-cow like we did when we were seated. So we're going to go ahead and inhale, lift the chin, drop the belly, lift the tailbone, draw the shoulders down from the ears, pull the abdominals in so we don't hyperextend. Exhale, chin into our chest, round our spine, pushing away from the earth. Good. Inhale, lift the chin, drop the belly, lift the tailbone. Good. Exhale, chin into our chest, rounding our spine. Good. Inhale, lift the chin, drop the belly, lift the tailbone. Exhale, chin into our chest, round our spine. Good. Take your time here if you'd like. Add some little wiggles. We all know how I am about wiggles. Feel free to take any extra little motions you might need. I'm going to get into my favorite, as everyone knows, which is our dancing lion. So our dancing lion is the same kind of motion as our cat-cow, but with the hip rolls and hip circles that we did before. So we're just going to go ahead and bring our hips over to the right, come through into like a little cobra, come around to the left, come back into child's pose. Okay, so we're just making these big sweeping circles all the way around. And you guys have probably heard me use this analogy before, but the best way to think about this motion is you're trying to get all the peanut butter out of the jar. And feel free to switch directions when you're ready. Good, breathe here. Again, circle it around. Maybe switch directions again. Take any kind of movement that you need here. You can go quick, you can go slow. You can kind of hang out here in cobra for a moment. Maybe shoot right back to child's pose. Take a second. Breathe wherever you are. And again, take your time. Do 2 more nice deep breaths in your dancing lion. Meeting me back at your your tabletop. Meeting me back at your tabletop. Once we're back at our tabletop, we're just going to go ahead and bring our knees wide, bring our big toes to touch, sit back for our child's pose. We're going to take 10 breaths here. I really want you to settle in, let yourself relax a bit. And the best thing about child's pose is this is where you go if at any point something's too difficult or too strenuous, or even if you just need a break. There's never any shame in coming and sitting in child's pose. I do it all the time. So you can always come back. This is like your reset, your home base, or your little timeout pose. So, and if child's pose is difficult for you because of your knees, your ankles, or anything, you can come to any other pose that feels the most accessible to you. So that's one of the biggest things with beginning yoga, is knowing that you don't have to do it perfectly. You can always take a break. You can always just find your home base pose and take a few breaths there before carrying on. There's really no wrong way to do yoga. There are things that you can do unsafely, but we're going to try to avoid that, and I'll show you, and I'll help you how. So just 2 more deep breaths here in your child's pose. You're breathing in and out through the nose. Taking our time here. Nice and slow, pulling ourselves back through to our tabletop. We're just going to do a tiny bit of balancing, okay? So we're going to go ahead and start, noticing our weight, making sure we're not dumping into our elbows. And we're going to begin to go ahead and bring our weight into our left knee as we lift our right foot and extend out, foot stepping on the wall behind us. We're not trying to lift up high. We're trying to keep nice and level, keep the hips square. So we're just going to breathe here and engage. Notice the abdominals engaging. Notice the gluteus medius engaging. All these fun things going on. The glute max is what's helping us lift into extension. Breathing here. We're going to see if we can. If this is enough for us, if this is hard, we stay right here. But if we can, we're going to begin to lift our left hand up. So we're going to lift our left hand up like we're shaking someone's hand in front of us. Not lifting our elbow higher. Again, we're drawing our shoulder down and keeping it in place. Engaging our abdominals. Breathe here. Good. For 3, 2, 1. Lower left hand down, right knee comes to meet. We're gonna go ahead and bring our weight into our right knee this time, lift our left leg, foot extends out like we're stepping on the wall behind us. Breathing here, making sure our hips are squared down. Good. Breathing in and out through the nose. And if we can, let's see if we can lift the right hand. Good. Breathing here. Again, take our time. And it's okay if you can't lift this right hand yet. Let yourself be wherever you are. 2 more breaths. 1. Lower the right hand down. Left knee comes down. Good. Breathe here. We're going to take a second and bring our knees together. So we're bringing both of our knees together. We're just going to drop both hips over to the right side and look over our left shoulder, making sure we're not collapsing into our right arm. So we're still actively pushing up. Good. So you should feel a nice side body stretch all the way from the right hip. And if you're looking over towards your heels, you're going to feel it through to the right side of your neck. Good. Nice and slow. Come up and through the center, dropping your hips to the left side. And same thing as before, looking over your right shoulder towards the toes, making sure we're not dumping into this left elbow. We're still actively lifting, pushing, breathing here. Good. Nice and slow. Come back to center. Widening our knees, coming back to this tabletop. We're going to come back to the position that we were just at, but we're going to add a little bit of a crunch for stability and core. So we're going to go ahead and lift the left leg once again, stepping on the wall behind us. And this time we're going to inhale, lift the left arm. So right leg and left arm lifted. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring your knee to your elbow, crunch underneath. Inhale, extend, reach back out. Exhale, knee to elbow. One more, inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. And then release. Good, so releasing back down. Coming on to the other side. Again, this time bringing our weight into our right foot, left heel lifts, stepping on the wall behind us, inhale, right arm up. Good, breathing here, inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch, knee into elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee into elbow. Inhale, extend, open up. Exhale, knee to elbow, hold here. And then nice and slow, gently come back to your tabletop. Take a second here, knees wide as your mat, and just shift side to side. Good. And if you want to add in some more dancing lion motion, feel free to do so. Take whatever feels good for you. I'm coming to one of my all-time favorite shoulder stretches, which is our thread the needle. So bring your knees back to center as best we can. Bring your weight into our left hand. We're gonna go ahead and inhale, peel the right arm up nice and high, nice big chest stretch, opening up. Exhale as we come down, the top of our hand comes to our mat, palm facing up, coming through, coming onto our right shoulder. So our right shoulder is coming down onto the ground. Good, breathe here. So again, take your time. Breathe in and out through the nose. Really getting into the rhomboids, which are these muscles in the back of our shoulders. Nice and slow, bring your weight back into our left hand, peeling the right arm up and through, nice big stretch, open once again. And this time, instead of coming right down, we're gonna do some arm circles. So we're just gonna go ahead and reach forward and then come down and back. Nice big circles coming around. Good, breathe. And we're lifting up, reaching, and then coming down and back. Good, breathe. Do 2 more. Reaching up, coming down. And then the last one, come back to your tabletop. Take a second here, check in with yourself again. We're gonna go ahead and bring our weight into our right hand. Inhale, lift the left arm up nice and high. Exhale, coming through, threading our needle, coming onto the left shoulder. Left palm facing up. Breathing here. And again, taking your time. Again, maybe breathing in and out through the nose. Bring your weight into our right hand, peeling that left arm through, opening all the way up, nice big stretch. And same thing as before, reaching the arm forward, exhale, come around. So reaching forward for these big circles, Good. Good, perfect. Breathe. Good. Nice big circles, 2 more. Good, and the last one, settle back in. Knees wide, toes together. One more child's pose before we get moving a little bit more. Take a second here. If you want to take a puppy pose variation, you can. Or if you want to start to work on some tricep stretches, you can bring the elbows down, make your little shark fin. Just breathe here. Good, nice and slow. Coming back to our tabletop once again. And we're gonna go through a couple different poses. There's many ways to get here, but because we're doing beginner yoga, we're gonna do the simplest point of entry. So I'm just gonna go ahead and come up onto my knees, just like this, and I'm gonna go ahead and take my right foot and step it forward. So this is like our little low lunge position, yes. So there's, many of you will know there's several ways in yoga to get to this position, but again, since we're doing beginner yoga, we're doing the easiest path. And also too, if you ever have any issues with the knee that's down, you can go ahead and put some extra cushioning under your knee, or what I like to do sometimes is roll over my mat. Because there's lots of different ways to add cushioning and protect your knee from pressure. So wherever you are, we're just gonna go ahead into this little lunge, or little crescent lunge. So we're making sure our hips are squared, making sure our knee isn't going too wide in and out, and making sure that our knee is not past our heel. We're just nice and gently gonna begin to shift and push forward into this right knee. So this is opening up the left hip flexor, and this can get very intense very fast. If your knee is going very far in front of your ankle, move your ankle forward. Good, breathe. Take your time here. Again, this can get very intense very fast, so don't worry if you want to stay up here. Stay wherever feels best for you. Eventually, to get deeper in this, you begin to move your heel and your knee further apart. So just let yourself be wherever you are. Just take your time here. Let yourself sink in. This is our Anjaneyasana or crescent lunge or low lunge, depending on what kind of yoga you practice. There's so many different names for all the same things. Take a second here. We're going to begin to come into our runner stretch. So we're going to nice and gently start coming out of this if we were nice and deep, coming back to the center position, bending the left knee, straightening the right leg, keeping a nice little micro bend in the right leg to make sure we don't hyperextend, and flexing our feet towards our face. Good, so this is our runner stretch. This is gonna be really tight in your hammies if you've got some tight hammies. Yeah, so breathe here. If it's too tight, bend your knee deep. Breathe here. It's okay for your belly to be connected to your thigh and your knee bent. That actually gets a little bit more into the hamstrings more safely. Just breathe wherever you are. And again, if you can fully extend and come down, that's great as well. Just find whatever feels best for you. Let yourself be wherever you are. Don't worry about trying to get all the way down yet. We're gonna start adding some motion between these two poses. So we're gonna shift forward into this crescent lunge, come back into the runner stretch. Just going back and forth. This is like my #1 pose that I recommend to everyone to do, because quite often people do have really tight hamstrings and really tight hips. So this is my one pose that I recommend to literally everyone, or one movement really, these two back and forth. And if you ever want to do a full split in your life, this is how you get there. You just gradually go back and forth with this, and you just bring the knee and heel farther apart. So if that's ever in your list of goals, this is one of the ways to help you get there. We're gonna go ahead and transition into our lizard pose. So we're gonna go ahead and come back real quick for one last hamstring stretch. And then shift back forward into our low lunge, walking our right foot all the way to the outer edge of our mat, bringing both hands to the inside of the right foot. And breathe here. Let yourself be wherever you are in your lizard. This can get really intense really quickly as well, so just always be mindful of where you're at. There are several variations here. We have both of our hands down. We have the option to go ahead and open up the knee coming onto the outer edge of the right foot if we feel like we are able to do so. Always be mindful of your knee. We also have the option to come down to our forearms if it's accessible to us. And then if you know twisted lizard, that's an option as well. But again, this is for beginners, so I'm going to stay in the traditional regular version, but you have all those options if they are familiar to you. And just breathe wherever you are. Really breathing into those hips. This is really fantastic for the hip flexors of the left hip while working on the adductors of the right hips, which are those muscles that help to bring your inner thighs together. So breathing wherever you are. One more nice deep breath. And if you've gone into any other variations, coming back to our regular lizard, we're just gonna go ahead and step our right knee back to meet our left. Good, take your time if you want. Take a nice little regular child's pose. So we have our extended child's pose, which is with our knees wide. Our traditional balasana is knees together, head down, and arms back with our palms facing up. And we're just gonna take this regular little balasana real quick. Nice and slow, working back to our tabletop. Taking our time here, taking any motions we might need. We're gonna do the same thing we did on the other side. So let's come through, come sit up onto our knees, and we're just gonna step our left leg up into this lunge position. And again, feel free to do anything that you might need to do with the padding of your knees. And we're gonna begin to sink into this. So coming up into our low crescent lunge here, making sure that our knee is not passing the ankle, trying to keep our hips relatively square. Breathing here, letting ourselves sink into this hip flexor stretch. And again, this may become very tight very quickly. It's okay to let yourself stay right here. If you don't feel comfortable sinking in yet, that's all right. Again, this is beginner yoga. This is take whatever feels best for you, but know that the options can be expanded upon. And taking your time here. And again, if this is too much for you to stay in this pose and you have blocks, you can use these blocks to help lift you. Yeah, there's lots of options here. I'm gonna do a whole beginner yoga with blocks video soon as well. So just breathing wherever you are. Again, really sinking into that right hip. Taking your time, noticing how you feel. We're gonna begin to straighten out the right leg, bend at the left knee, coming into our runner stretch. Good, breathe here. So our left leg is straight, right knee is bent. We can go ahead and bend the knee a little bit in this left leg to protect ourselves from hyperextending. Maybe bringing the belly to the thighs. We're dorsiflexing, which is flexing our feet towards our face. And just breathe wherever you are. Take your time here. And breathing in and out through the nose. Maybe sink a little bit deeper. And we're going to begin to rock back and forth. So shifting forward, and then coming back. And again, like I said, I recommend this pose to literally everyone ever because people often have really tight hamstrings and really tight hips. So this is really good to kind of get rid of that stuck mobility most of us have. Good. Again, taking your time. Good, going back and forth. We're going to prepare for our lizard pose, so we'll just take one more lunge forward and one more deep hammy stretch back. Come back to our Anjaneyasana crescent lunge. Left foot comes out to the outer edge of your mat. Both hands come inside your left foot. And again, we have several options here. We can come onto the outer edge of the left foot, down to our forearms, twisted lizard, all that fun stuff. But again, because this is a beginner variation video, we are going to stick with this. But if you know any more advanced variations, you are welcome to practice those. Breathing here, really feeling it in the front of this right hip, in the adductors of the left hip. Breathing in and out through the nose. Again, taking your time here. We're going to breathe for 3 more. So 3, 2, 1. Nice and slow, we're gonna come step back to our tabletop. So we're shifting our hips back, taking a second here. And if this is hard for us, this transition, it's okay if we have to fumble through it a little bit. We're gonna come to our child's pose once again, but our traditional balasana, knees together, belly to the thighs, arms reach back, palms facing up. Taking a second here to just settle in. Nice and slow, we're gonna begin to come forward through our tabletop once again, and we're gonna work our way nice and slow to a plank. So we're just gonna really slowly, and don't worry, we're not staying in plank for very long. We're gonna bring our hands under our shoulders, step our feet back, engage our core lift, and breathe here. So we're on our hands here, and we're gonna go through our knees, chest, chin to cobra. So we're just gonna bring our knees down, bring our chest down, and then our chin, and slither through onto our bellies. So we're coming into our cobra here, and we're just gonna take a second, pillow our hands, and relax. And this is a yoga pose, I promise. And just let yourself relax here for a breath before we continue through. And breathing in and out through your nose. Nice and gently lifting the head, planting our hands underneath our shoulders. Toes are flat. We're gonna begin to lift up into our low cobra, which just means lifting our chest. We're not lifting, pushing all the way up yet. We're just right here. So we're hugging our elbows in tight to our body, drawing our shoulders down from our ears, breathing here, engaging our core, engaging our glutes. Nice and slow, we're gonna begin to push into our hands. Begin to push up, making sure we're not hyperextending the elbows here. We're bending the elbows, drawing the shoulders down, pulling through the chest, looking up. Good, breathe here, drawing the shoulders down and back, chin up. Nice and slow, we're gonna bend our knees, tuck our toes, and see if we can push our hips back for a down dog. So nice and slow, if you want, you can come through your tabletop first. Begin to lift the knees, push the hips back. Pedal out your down dog. And as always, and again, I'm gonna explain this a little bit because we are doing yoga for beginners. It's more important for our down dog to have our back straight than our knees. So it is better to look like this than it is like this. Okay, so it's much better if we bend our knees deep and then come up, because you really want to get into the hamstrings here. And while we're in our down dog, it's okay if our heels don't touch yet. They will get there eventually. What you want to focus the most on is lifting the hips and elongating the spine. We're going to be externally rotating our biceps, so kind of turning our biceps away from our ears, but we're keeping our fingers grounded. This is just to make sure our shoulders don't compress. We're gonna breathe here and we're gonna try to pedal our heels up and down. Good, breathing in and out through the nose. Nice and slow. And then very gently, we're just gonna begin to walk our feet to our hands. And as we get to our hands, we're just gonna sit down into our easy seat. Okay, so we're gonna come right onto our butt again. And we're gonna go ahead and finish out the rest of our practice with some seated poses and a couple on our back. So we're gonna do a quick Janu Sirsasana, which is going to be another hamstring stretch. So wherever we are, we often have a tendency to sit like this, where our shoulders are behind our hips. So we wanna go ahead and lift, bring our hips behind our shoulders, inhale, lift, lengthen. We're going to keep our left foot in, right leg extends out straight. This is our Janu Sirsasana. We're gonna go ahead and make sure that our body is aligned over our right leg. Inhaling up, exhale, hinging and folding forward. And it's okay if we just come to our thigh here and look forward. It's more important for us to keep our back straight, so we don't want to round the spine. We want to come up and forward and then down, and you'll feel a big difference of it getting into your low back, into your hamstrings here. So it's okay if you can't reach your toes, just bring your hands to your shin or your quad, because the eventual goal is not to get your head to your shin, it's to get your chin to your shin. So you want to always be looking forward and then coming down. Just breathe wherever you are. Go ahead and inhale back up. We're going to zip the left knee up, foot comes flat. Hug our knee into our chest, roll at the ankle. We're going to take this left foot, bring it up and over the right leg. Good, breathe here. We're gonna go ahead and inhale, left arm up and back. Right arm, right elbow hooks on the outside of the left leg. So inhale, lift, lengthen, and exhale, twist. Very similar to what we did in the beginning here. but this just gets us a bit deeper. And we don't want to rely on pulling and pushing our elbow into our leg to twist us. We want to lift, lengthen, and use our obliques to turn us, but help this elbow helps us to stabilize. Good, so breathe here. Good, nice and slow, we're gonna begin to unwind. Come back to center, but we're gonna keep our knees crossed. We're just gonna go ahead and let this left knee drop open. Left ankle is over top of right knee. We're just gonna go ahead and put our hands behind us, bending at the elbow, and begin to come into our pigeon pose reclined. So we're gonna bring this right foot flat, bending at the right knee. Breathing here, opening up this left hip. If this is too intense for you if this is a super beginner and this is too intense, we can go absolutely all the way reclined and just lay on our back. But this lift here, this lifted variation gives us a little bit of a shoulder stretch while getting into the hips. So breathing here. Again, take your time. Breathing in and out through the nose. If you want, maybe dropping your head back, seeing how you feel lifting through the chest. Breathing here. And then whenever you're ready, nice and slow, scooting our hips back. Coming to a quick Baddha Konasana, which is going to be bringing both of our feet to touch. So both of our feet to touch, my hips crack every single time. So both of our feet to touch, inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, hinge and fold. We wiggle it out here. Breathing in and out through the nose. We're gonna go ahead and inhale all the way up. We're gonna come to the other side. So left leg extends out straight, right foot comes into the inner left thigh. Maybe scoot our hips back if we need to. Inhaling all the way up, exhale, reaching forward, hinging and folding. Good, again, coming to our Janu Shirshasana. And so breathing here. Again, taking our time, maybe wiggling our toes. Making sure that we're not rounding the spine, we're reaching forward and then coming down. Good, breathe here. Nice and slow, inhaling up, zipping the right knee up and in. Right foot stays flat while we check our posture. Hug it into our chest, lifting the right foot, rolling out the ankle. Right foot comes up and over the left thigh. Inhaling our right arm up and back, and then taking our left hand and hooking the left elbow on the outside of the right knee. Inhaling, extending, exhaling, twisting, looking over the right shoulder. And again, we're not dumping into our joint here. We're actively lifting, engaging our obliques to help lift us and turn us. Good, breathe in and out through the nose. Nice and slow, we're gonna begin to unravel. Coming back to center, but again, keeping our figure four shape. So taking this right knee, opening it out, right ankle on top of left knee. And again, placing our hands behind us, bending the left knee, left foot comes flat. Good, so this is our pigeon on the other side. Again, with the option to recline it, the option to sit back further into the shoulder stretch. If you wanna make this more intense in the hips, you bring your heel closer to your butt. So again, take whatever option feels best for you. Listen to your body and what it needs. Breathing for 2 more. And then nice and slow, opening up, coming back to your Baddha Konasana, so feet to touch. Once more. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, hinge and fold. Breathing here, maybe rocking side to side, taking any wiggles or movements that you might need. Again, maybe back and forth, whatever feels good for you here. You can give yourself a little foot massage if you're feeling it. Just breathe. Go ahead and inhale all the way up. We're gonna nice and slow begin to zip our knees together once more. We're just gonna walk our feet out and begin to lower ourselves onto our back. If you'd like to do a tiny bit of core work and you're familiar with it, you can do some boat pose, but if you are super newbie and you have no interest in that, we're just gonna make our way onto our back. So lower, slow, all the way onto our back here. We're just gonna take a second. We're gonna bring our feet as wide as our mat. I'm just gonna windshield wiper our hips back and forth. This is one of my favorite things to do all the time. So just going back and forth here. Windshield wipering. Nice and slow, come back to center, bringing both knees into our chest. And rolling out the ankles. Some of you may have seen this before. This is not exactly a yoga pose, but it's something we do a lot in jiu-jitsu. And we're gonna make these hip circles. So we're rotating the right foot clockwise, left foot counterclockwise. One at a time, yeah. This gets us really nice into the hips. Good, switching directions. So now right foot's counterclockwise, left foot's clockwise. Good, breathing here. Come back to center. Inhale both legs up to the sky. Inhale both arms up above your head, waterfall pose. Take a second here, maybe ground down your low back. It's okay if your knees have a slight bend. We're stepping on the ceiling. Breathing here. Nice and gently, we're gonna hug our right knee in, let our left leg fall straight. Go ahead and reach your hands around your shin, keeping your shoulders flat as best you can. Maybe rolling out the ankle once more. We're gonna take a nice long supine twist. So we're gonna take our left hand to the outer edge of our right knee here. We're gonna extend our right arm out straight at a 90-degree angle from our body. We're gonna put our palm facing down. So internally rotating. We're gonna begin to draw the right knee over to the left side of our body while we look over our right shoulder for a nice deep supine twist. Breathe here. Good, breathe. You're looking over the right shoulder, letting yourself settle in. And this is a pose, honestly, that I do on my own, and I will sit in for a good 5 minutes. So feel free when you're done with this or whatever you're doing. You can do this pose in bed. This is like one of the best ones to do before you get out of bed. There's actually quite a lot of yoga poses you can do in bed. So this is a good one. We'll sit here for just a little bit longer. Really sink in. Nice and slow, begin to come back to center. Right knee hugs in once again, left knee comes in to meet. And this time we're gonna inhale both legs up again and then both arms up. So back to our waterfall once more. Breathe here, reaching the heels up, reaching the fingertips up, grounding the tailbone down, bringing that awareness into the abdominals, bending the left knee, extending the right leg all the way down. Hugging our left knee into our belly, rolling out the ankle. Taking our time here once again. We're gonna go ahead into our supine twist on the other side. So right hand comes to the outer edge of the left knee. Left arm extends out, palm down, internally rotating. We begin to draw the left knee over to the right side of the body while looking over our left shoulder. Good, breathe here. And again, this is like one of my all-time favorite poses to ever exist. And you will probably see why. Just breathe here. Maybe crack your back like I just did. Good, nice and slow. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Maybe sink in a little bit more. And gently come back to center. Once again, bringing your right knee in to meet your left. This time we're gonna do a quick happy baby. So bending our knees deep, hugging them into our chest, reaching our elbows in between our knees and trying to grab the outer edges of our feet for our happy baby. And if all we can come to is our shins here, that's okay as well. Just take whatever variation feels best. Try to ground your shoulders down if you can. And just rock side to side. Yeah, nice little spinal massage going on here. Breathing in and out through the nose. Take your time. You can, if you'd like, you can go through archer pose, which is where we extend one leg at a time. It's up to you. If you're happy with your happy baby, just stay there. Good. Nice and gently, we're going to release our happy baby. Bring our feet flat on the mat, knees bent. Once more, bringing our knees side to side, windshield wipering. This time, maybe taking a second on each side and extending through that top leg, feeling it in the hip flexor. Good, drawing the knee down. eventually working your legs all the way out straight, lengthening down into our Shavasana. Let your hands fall to our sides. If we want, we can take one more big stretch up above. Maybe inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, relax your arms down to your sides. We're gonna go through 3 lion's breaths before we settle fully into our Shavasana. So our lion's breath is inhaling in through the nose, exhaling loudly through the mouth, and releasing everything. You have the option here to tense everything and then release it if you'd like. But we're gonna go ahead and inhale in. Exhale. Inhale in nice and deep. Exhale. And one more. Inhaling in. Exhale. Oh, good. Begin to settle in. Maybe shrug your shoulders underneath your back. Take whatever adjustments or movements you might need to get comfortable. And begin to come into your breath. Again, maybe doing the box breath like we did in the beginning, or maybe settling in and reminding yourself your 3 points of gratitude, or just taking any other kind of meditation that you'd like, whether it be just letting yourself relax, maybe trying to do some metta meditation, loving kindness, whatever you feel right now. Just taking the next 2 minutes for yourself entirely. And if your mind began to wander, you can just slowly guide yourself back to your breath. Gently. Taking the next 30 seconds to begin again. Wherever you are, just maybe beginning to settle back into the room around you. Keeping your eyes closed, but just bringing the awareness to your body on the floor. Maybe taking a nice deep breath. Beginning to wiggle the fingers and the toes. If you have the time and are able to pause this and take a longer Shavasana, I encourage you to do so. If not, though, we're going to gently begin to bring our knees towards our chest. At our own pace, taking our time. Taking a second here, maybe rocking side to side. You can keep your eyes closed or have a nice soft gaze. And just gradually maybe inhale, reach the arms up, nice big stretch. You can reach the legs up too if you'd like, whatever feels good for you right now. And we're just gonna go ahead and roll ourselves up or prop ourselves up back to our easy seat. So you have the option to rock back and forth and roll up, or just bring yourself up gently. Take a second here in your easy seat to close your eyes, settle in. Inhale, lift, lengthen, roll the shoulders up to your ears and back. Inhale, arms up, exhaling your hands to your heart, lifting your sternum to your thumb. And again, taking a second here to check in with yourself. In yoga, we always bow to not each other really, but to the teacher within. So taking a second to thank yourself for showing up to do this today. Thank you for letting me guide you. and I appreciate you guys as always. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and again, this is a beginner yoga one, so take it slow, add things that you need. Don't feel like, I know it says beginner, but if this may still be hard, don't be discouraged by that. Take it easy, take it slow, and take it at your own pace. And thank you, as always, for joining me. Come on, you. So we're having slight technical, not even difficulties, but like technical good things because of the dogs. So if you got distracted from your breath, don't even worry about it at this point. Such is life, you know. Lay down. And can you, you're so inappropriate, Duke.
He's so needy.
I got Stella here like this. We got Duke look at himself. You're too cute. This is why I don't get anything done. Duke, can you have some manners, please?